Hello. Recently, I've been working a bit with hair cards and stylized hair. Maybe I did some things in wrong way. Maybe there are better ways to do it. But for myself, I ended up building a small geometry node setup. I don't really want to go too deep into how everything works under the hood. So I'll just walk you through the main parameters and how to actually use it. There will be a link to the file in the description so you can play around on your own. Let me know if you have any better solutions. I'll be really happy to improve my workflow. So let's talk about the nodes. In my project, I have a few test setups. Let's just append all the node groups here. The main node group is called curve to mesh. What it does is it creates copies of the reference mesh defined by target object and deforms these copies along curves. We pick object that defines the curve profile. Keep in mind we stretch the object along its y-axis, so make sure the orientation is correct. Unlike the native Blender curve to mesh node, here we control more than just the profile. We can actually use any geometry, any topology along the curve, and it will keep all vertex attributes, including UVs. It is quite important for hair card because tweaking UV cards manually afterwards, after converting them from curves to mesh, is a bit time consuming. So in my workflow, I can set UVs at the very beginning. There are also a few settings here. By default, we have normalized length enabled. That means the meshes are stretched along the curves from start to end, regardless its original Y scale. We can control both ends. Using start factor, we control the root, and using end factor, we control the tips. And we can offset both using factor offset. If you want to keep the original Y scale along the curve, you can just disable normalization. In that case, the object won't use the spline length for scaling. It keeps its original Y scale unless we tweak it here. Length offset is similar to factor offset, but is measured in sin units and it becomes valid when normalization is disabled. So now we have the mesh. We can tweak tilt for everything. We can control the radius with Alt-S and control the tilt with Control-T. And now a bit of bonus content. Here I have a cyclic curve and I also have a ball. If I set the ball as a target object, disable normalization to show original scale, and it gets cut in half. So we just enable loop and now it freely moves through the whole loop. Now about the multiplier, we can use it to add multiple instances of the target object along the curve. It is not very handy for hair cards, but who says it is just for hair cards? We can control the spacing between those instances. And that's it. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.